Jesus like the
everything? They like open up a yearbook and like the driver's like book.
So is Jesus like the Dr. Oz of his time?
No.
Well, Dr. Ruth, Dr. Oz,
No,
Deepak Chopra, all wrapped up in one.
No, they're too instructional. It's got to be like pure mystery, confusion, and it's on you for not getting it. Blaine gets it.
How about Richard Simmons mixed in with Dr. Ruth and Deepak Chopra?
He's got the joy and love.
And the hair.
That's the wrong hair.
I'm not aware. Did people do drawings of Jesus? Like, did he like have his portrait?
Don't they say they have like the Shroud of Turin or something?
Yeah, but that's nothing, right?
That was not recreations from genetics. What did the average Israeli look like in that era?
You guys want to see some magic?
Always.
Look in the chat. It's Cheetos.
You're talking about the YouTube video?
Yeah.
Which one? You put down 2.
It's a 2-parter.
Oh, it's a 2-part magic trick. What the F?
This is ridiculous. It's that same threshold of believability.
It gets so much better after you left.
I love how he turns to the camera and just stares at our soul.
I know.
Right. Like, take that.
Yeah, exactly. Look what they believe.
I was listening to what's his name? The really condescending prick. Matt Slick. I was listening to him in Andrew's room earlier. I don't know if you guys were in there at all.
No, what happened?
He's just sitting there giving Muslims like the business, right? And I'm like, I wanted to come off the mic. I was in the crowd. I wasn't on the mic, but I was just typing to him. He's like, oh, people like pro-lyrical don't like me. And I was like, first of all, I didn't say anything about not liking you. I was going to say, I don't usually like to be all cursy on the app unless I really feel the need. And I do feel the need to say, like, this is what a fuckboy's like. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, bro, you are unnecessarily an asshole to people. He's in there talking about, like, are you not going to say that your religion tries to murder and torture people? This dude is just like, no, I just kind of think it's more about peace. And he's like this peace and love kind of guy. Pretty relatively intellectual compared to most people that are in the theist room. And he's like, no, I think things can be taken out of proportion. That's not what I believe. He's like, are you not going to say that your murdering and torturous religion is trying to kill people? And then he started, and then I started, I put like 5 posts in a row in there for him, like back to back that were basically Bible scripture that does all the same thing, as if you've not heard, you know what I'm saying? like, bro, like, how do you not know this or just deny this is a thing, So anyways, he's just such a thing. Matt Slick.
Oh.
Right. I'm like, is this too? I always think this. Anyways, yeah.
Well, I think he's so fired up because the party in Sydney.
Oh, shit.
It was like
he's being persecuted, I guess.
No. Let me explain. Like, the priest is like an Orthodox priest or something, some Eastern church, and he was proselytizing, standard Christian stuff. The war is terrible. These innocents that are being killed. It's bad on both sides. He's a Christian, so he's out of it, and he's just saying all war is evil. In the middle of beginning an address to his online following, a Palestinian supporter yells out Allahu Akbar and stabs him. This is like a priest on an internet thing, and he's not the primary enemy by anyone's stretch of the imagination. So the Christians get kind of angry.
Maybe. I don't know if that's what's going on with it. He's like, do you not deny that Bacchia's, whatever, it's about he tricked people, tricking people into the religions and into kill them later. I was like, bro, it's like, I don't know that's, I don't want to be the Muslim defender, but it's like, the whole purpose, and I had to look at that, I was like, I thought I know anything about it, but this sounds totally not true. And then, is a practice of Shia Islam that allows believers to conceal their faith when under threat, persecution, or compulsion. The primary purpose is to avoid religious persecution and protect one's life, property, and family. However, some critics of Islam, like him, incorrectly claim that Taqi encourages Muslims to lie or deceive to non-Muslims to advance their faith. This interpretation is not supported by mainstream Islamic scholars or the vast majority of Muslims. Islam in general strongly emphasizes honesty and condemns deceit. Blah, blah, blah. But it was just stop the persecution. There really has plenty of faults at it. You just want to take it in.
I mean, all the Abrahamic religions are perfectly comfortable about being deceitful of certain things, right? It just depends on what. And one cover by being like, well, this is what I honestly believe. But sometimes facts contradict beliefs. Let us proclaim the story of her.
such a choir boy, I knew it.
Christ has gone, Christ is risen. My dad was, not me. He was an altar boy, but no.
But you like the music.
I can sing that crap all day.
See, I wanted to be a choir boy. My mom was not.
I admittedly never thought of it in my life, the difference between choir boy and altar boy before. Just kind of suddenly dawned on me that those are the same thing.
Yeah. I hadn't thought about that either.
Yeah, I asked my mom once why she didn't help me. She's like, well, because I had a funny feeling. And I thought I should do that. I was like, okay, cool, good enough.
But he's just such a prick. I mean, it's like the dude was talking. It's like, I feel like that you're still cutting me off. The guy, like, Matt had talked forever, and he's like, I will not talk. I'll just leave if you proceed to cut me off. Your Quran says that you shouldn't do this because it says that you should behave nicely. So, what a dude at the yacht club looking for minorities who were wearing the wrong polo shirt on the grounds crew,
Oh yeah, like Matt will start telling people like how to use language. Like you shouldn't use that word. That's a dirty word. Like kid didn't even start treating me like a child. And then when you treat him like a child, he's like, well, I'm gonna take my toys and go home.
Right. It's like, bro, like you already have the Ted Cruz, I want to punch you in the face look. You probably should be self-aware of that and stop saying things that make you look like even more of a jerk evil.
Yeah, and then when you call out his bullshit, he goes, well, I'm autistic.
Oh, that is him? I think I heard him say that once. Okay, I was thinking that might have been that guy, and I was like, maybe I'm reaching here. Just maybe because to me he didn't seem autistic, so I was like, but I know you can't always tell, but I was just like, is this the guy?
He uses it more like a scapegoat or a shield. And he'll get his ass handed to him in online debates, and then he's like, well, I won. Blah, 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 I won.
Yeah, I actually wanted to listen to the general conversation was in it, but just listening to him talk for 5 minutes, I can't even say it.
Then you saw the driver take a gun and go like this, and the bullet comes out of the gun this slow. Very, very, very slow. I'm thinking, this isn't the tape I ever saw before. So I said, is this a doctor tape? What's this about? And he said, this is
So
the
I have a
original.
thought question for you guys. So if God returns tomorrow from a distant galaxy where he was busy working, and he comes here and all of a sudden it's revealed to us all that I am the God of the Old Testament that people are talking about. They had a few things wrong, but here's what's right. I just wanted to reveal myself for you now that we're in the internet era, and there really is an afterlife. It's sort of a post kind of computery afterlife where you're kind of in your dream states, and whatever you experience here on Earth will likely be mostly the kind of stuff that you have in heaven. So, I can't really help you. The program is is done. That's kind of what it's going to be. Hope you think good thoughts. Hope you've done good deeds, because your conscience will kind of kick in, and that's kind of what it is. Oh, there's a few ways to redeem yourself, but I can't go into too much details. I gotta leave and go work on some other galaxies, but you really should be following generally the Ten Commandments. Some of the other stuff the humans got wrong, and I generally want you to be good people. And by the way, I'll be able to kind of check in on some of your thoughts, both here and in the afterlife. How would you deal? Would you would you become converted, or would you become?
I think that there are entirely too many world-building effects in that hypothetical, and we spend a little too much time anthropomorphizing the creator of everything.
Well, I can spend as much time anthropomorphizing as I want to. I'm going to spend more time now that you said that. I'm gonna make him have a cool tie.
And some sick tattoos, bro.
Yeah, absolutely.
Can't
Tell me
have
too much. You can't be telling me too much on my God that I just.
So, I mean, if God appeared in front of me and was like, bro, I've been off in another galaxy for a while, doing some shit. Now I'm back, and here are the things that are true, here are the things that are kind of wrong, here's the things that I'm not going to talk about. And you get into heaven more or less by the behavior of your life. I would be like, okay, I'm not going to worship you, but I'm still kind of okay. I'm still probably going to end up in a good place. I doubt that you're actually God, because you were off in another galaxy doing other things, and you couldn't be in both places at the same time. I think that's weird. But okay, cool. Thanks. Under that construct, right? Right. If he shows up and he says, you have to worship me or else, then it's like, okay, well, now I just have a good reason to start an uprising.
I think he's generally the one that I'm constructing for me here. He's generally the misunderstood, pretty good God. Was pretty advanced, was responsible for life here, a few other spots here and there in the galaxy, and he's godlike, and he's like, yeah, you got a point. Like, not really exactly the God is described. Humans have taken some liberty there. I'll allow Zed's comments. They've just kind of really liked making me really human, his image kind of thing. But I did kind of say what I think would make some sense here in this earth. Might have got a few things wrong. And, oh, by the way, I'm off to do my stuff, but you really should follow, generally, those 10 Commandments pretty close. A few of them are kind of crazy, as you can probably guess, but, hey, be cool to each other.
I'd be like, oh, so I can covet my neighbor's wife. Cool.
No, you shouldn't covet your neighbor's wife. You really shouldn't.
I think you're doing it wrong, because, when you make believe in roleplay, you have to make believe in roleplay about my God, my creator God, right? That's the only correct way to make believe in roleplay.
My God, as in everybody else's God? You're saying T's God?
Whatever you prefer, right? I would probably wag my finger a little bit at that God and be like, fuck have you been, bro? But all right, cool. I think I can operate under your rules.
Speed of light is so slow, Ryan. It's so slow. Speed of light is tough, and I've been having difficulty trying to, work around it. I've been working on Lie group algebra, and it's been busy.
I need you to talk to this guy who believes in wormholes and shit.
Oh, Hermes. He talks to me nightly.
God, I need you to talk to Hermes.
Hermes is actually very close with some of his theories.
Yeah.
He's a little off in some areas.
It's
close in some.
In the same way that, like, a broken analog clock is close to being the right time, right?
In that kind of way.
Savage. Fred Savage.
So Ryan, I'm going to sum you up as no bowing down to the aliens, but if they're pretty cool, then it's nice to meet.
Yep.
Kind of close to that boat too.
But I have ADD, so I have massive, authority. I'm always going to rebel against authority. It's just sort of a makeup of my biology.
I think this alien god would accept that. Because it's like his mess up kind of thing to begin with.
Yeah, if it was Yahweh, I'd be like, I'd like you to meet my friend Kyle.
Kyle has some gripes with you. I never expected you pesky humans to figure out gravitational lensing and all these other problems with the universe and things. I didn't really put that much detail into it, but now I'm having to improvise.
Doing a software patch on the universe.
A little gravity plugin. Who would have thunk the little hairy monkeys were going to figure out Doppler redshift? Which is freaking stunning if you really think about it. Like, let's just think about the other aliens that probably exist out there and the things that they've thought of. Even if they're alligators, it's just like, way to go.
I mean, we're amazed at other primates by like them using sticks to eat ants, right? So it's like we've gone a long ways.
Bro, have you seen the videos of like I always get the abbreviations wrong, the MSPCA, the RSPCA, whatever it is, the dogs that like they taught to drive. It's like promotional videos, like the real ones, not the fake ones. Like the promotional videos that get these dogs in the car. Have anybody seen that?
No, I've seen the videos of the talking dogs with the buttons.
These are the ones where they teach them basically. There's some that are, yeah. There's some fake ones and there's some real ones where they pretty much got the dogs going around like in these little car promotional ads to try to get people to understand that dogs are smarter than you think they are. So they're like, what if we could get them to figure out driving? So they just got them like slightly steering and pushing a button that goes to the side. And they edit it with the best parts of the video. And yeah, for a while, some of the dogs.
What about the button thing? Is that real? Do the dogs understand the button pressing? Oh, it doesn't actually go give me the button things, right? You tell them what the button thing. So the button thing's not real. Well, no, it is. Like they have a pad of different buttons, and they can sort of form crude sentences with it, like ball outside or like walk. But do they know that, or are these videos just are they putting the voice over it and then making you think that's what the dog said? That's not what Roland is referring to, Ryan. Roland is referring to the humorous meme that's going around on Instagram right now, where a dog has, three or four buttons that he has access to, but the buttons don't say the things that you think they should. They say things like bitch and fuck you and no. Oh no. T, I mean the ones where it says like outside ball, like those. Does the dog know which button does which and remember? I think the white dog that in that particular like trend is dog, but I know that there are dogs that certainly can do like basic communication and stuff like that. But I think that there's the meme and then there's the reality. Right? Yeah, I think I think dogs are definitely smarter than people give them credit for. I mean, the craziest video I ever saw was that border collie. I think that Neil deGrasse Tyson went to that guy's property and the dog knew the name of like 1,000 different stuffed animals individually. But the most amazing thing was he put a stuffed animal in that the dog didn't know into a group of other stuffed animals, then said, bring me Darwin, because it was a Darwin stuffed animal, like the evolutionist. And the dog was able to extrapolate that the toy he didn't know the name of must be the new one that's called Darwin. It was able to bring him Darwin, which I thought was fucking incredible.
My dog hides stuff all over the house and does what you see in a lot of the Instagram videos where, like, have you seen the one the dog puts its paw over the food while the person's, like, picking up all the food on the floor? And the dog is, like, waiting for the owner to leave. My dog does that all the time. My dog snatches pencils off the table almost as soon as I go upstairs, brings them to her bed, and sticks them in the crevice of her bed so I can't see them, and sits on top of them. And I'm like, you better not have a pencil underneath you. Like, I'm like, you better not have a pencil. And I'll pick it, and then she'll run. She'll get up and run once I say it if she does. And then she just sits there, still looking guilty even when she hasn't. But she's totally aware. You know, it's like that.
My cats are kind of similar in terms of, like, I think a lot of people don't give cats enough credit because they feel like they're harder to read. But, like, dude, I have to be so careful about when I put something down in front of my cats that they're not supposed to have, because they won't go after it right then. But I'll see, especially the little one, her eyes will get wide, and I know she's thinking about when she can go and steal this when I'm not looking, and she will wait, and then I'll see her sneaking it later. I'll hear her, like, rolling around the floor or something, like she fucking got it.
I asked you about training materials that were used to prepare the U.S. Marshals assigned to protect the details of the homes of our Supreme Court justices in the aftermath of the League House decision. Those training materials made it clear that far from having the full authority to arrest people under any federal statute, as
did you know how
we
many
previously
words cats
testified,
can learn? Like, my
the
cats
marshals
know
on
the
the ground
meaning
at the
of
homes
so
of the
many fucking
justices
words.
were
It's
actively
hilarious. Like,
discouraged
if I
from
say, do you
making
want to
arrests
cuddle,
under
she'll
18
squeak and
U.S.C.
come running, and then,
15,
like,
Section
headbutt me to make room for
1507.
her.
As we discussed last year,
great.
Section 1507 makes it
Yeah,
criminal
I'll
to
look
make
her
a
up.
court parade near residence occupied by a judge with the intent of influencing any judge, juror, witness, or court officer in the discharge of his duty, as I know that you are fully aware. In the aftermath of that hearing, I and several of my colleagues sent a letter to you on May 3rd, 2023. That letter recounted the contents of some of the training materials discussed during the hearing and also discussed new materials that we had received afterwards. Those new materials consisted of several different versions of post orders that were provided to U.S. Marshals assigned to protect the homes of the justices, and further confirmed that they had been actively dissuaded from making arrests under Section 1507. The letter asked for a response to
Well, that it's probably because you're extending the word and modulating in a way that makes it difficult, but with mine, I've just experienced saying at the same speed, but just different, like, tone and different loudness. And it's definitely been where they extended it.
I saw this dolphin one like a couple weeks ago. I can never remember where I see it. It goes Instagram. I don't know if you've seen it, but so the dolphins get its like little fish reward, and then after a while the dolphin starts getting a little pissed off because it's not sensing fairness in terms of like the tricks that it's doing. Like every one of them is worth like a fish, and so it did something hard. It's like, damn. And you can then in the video the narrating like how the dolphin's like, oh, that's just not fair, right? So then the dolphin does something like it brings over a bird that fell into the pool, right? And the bird is finally the first thing that got it 5 fish, right? So the dolphin obviously is making like, finally, right? I got 5 fish. Like, this is jackpot. So the dolphin starts using the dead fish to attract birds into the pool, attacks the bird, and then brings the bird to the trainer to get 5 fish.
God.
Doesn't stop there. Trains the rest of the dolphins in the pool to do the same thing. And now they got 3 dolphins doing the trick. It's crazy.
If we gave dolphins enough time and they developed some kind of like organ, yeah, exactly, they'd be just as evolved as we are.
You know, I wonder, like, on the dating app Hinge and Bumble, if perhaps women are also somehow, you know, doing natural selection with regards to eating habits and, you know, generally their own self-centered narcissistic attitude.
What's that site?
Dating apps, you know. people in their 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s.
Oh, it's gonna like alter.
What's the site you said though?
Hinge.
Bumble. Hinge and Bumble. Are you saying like are they altering evolutionary progression based on new desires that would change the way that men act?
Well, it's kind of like the thing with the dolphin and figuring out how to maximize return on activity.
Yeah, you know what? I think that probably definitely occurs. I 100%, yeah.
I mean, what's the difference between a dolphin brain and a human brain, particularly a girl in her 20s or 30s? I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, what are the girls doing to essentially try to maximize the return on action with regards to, dating? Because it's not necessarily mating. It's more, I guess the point is like there's no difference between having a text number and texting somebody versus messaging somebody in a dating app. It's still cell phone to cell phone communication. The platform is irrelevant. So you end up having all these girls in town who end up a percentage of their overall caloric intake is derived from dating apps that they don't have to pay for. So it's almost like a reverse, um, I guess, food card program. You see what I'm saying? Like, if you're a pretty girl, you end up acting like the dolphin in the aquarium. You end up actually.
Your food intake from random dudes on Hinge and Bumble.
Yeah.
I've actually seen Instagram reels of women bragging about doing that. How many free meals they get a month. And they've even done like videos on how to get the same number of free meals from other women. So yeah, women are dolphins. Women are dolphins. Sorry, actually.
So how do you reverse engineer the paradigm? Like, I actually went out on a date once, and when we sat down, I said, "Oh my God, you're not gonna believe this, but I actually left my wallet at home." You should have seen the look on her face. I mean, and she never called me back afterwards. So I'm just saying that women, if they don't get that dopamine feedback loop from the free meal, it's like it throws a major wrench in their, standardized set pattern that they're used to experiencing.
I don't want to sound like a tool, but I always kind of followed the if after one date we're not fucking, I'm not paying, and it's just like if I'm not getting something out of this in return as far as the monetary value, like I'm not gonna keep paying for you. We're splitting the next time you're paying for yourself.
That's fair.
And then I'll pay for you, and then you pay for me. But I was never the type where I was going to allow someone to keep getting paid for like that, unless it was a situation that she was just fucking banging. Right? That's what I'm saying. Like, we were fucking, and I didn't have any other prospects on the table. And in my mind, it's like, all right, she's basically a prostitute, and I'll just keep paying for it because I know it's worth it right now until I find something better.
But doesn't that then just become a good argument for legalization of sex work?
I think prostitution is definitely good. Oh, yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. It's actually already technically legal. It's just not out in the open in terms of retail establishment and red light, districts. But women are technically acting as if they are prostitutes. This whole girlfriend experience, sugar daddy thing, like I've been on these dating apps for years, and you will have some girls actually say, are you a sugar daddy? I'm looking for a sugar daddy. And I mean, that's just another way of saying I want to be your prostitute. Do you have $300 to $5,000 to feed me, to give me? Like, I will do what you want.
Seen those fucking simp vids? Like a lady will get on a camera and just like, you're gonna give me money. You're gonna like worship me, give me cash, and men will do it. They will just send them money.
I am so offended.
They're usually quite good looking, they have good lighting. They put the camera down so that it's like looking up at them. They never take a shred of clothes off, and all they do is berate the viewer.
You're telling me.
It's so fucking funny. It's like
they're gonna pay me to tell them to give me their money. Like, I could go with that kink. I'm fine with it.
You can. You just have to be okay with a bunch of dudes lusting after you.
Ashley, do you realize how much Ashley, do you realize how much money you could make? You got the tattoo, the morgue thing going on. You could totally leverage that into like some like video kink humiliation thing, dealing with like death, and like you strap on your rubber gloves and you're like,
She's not.
you sick fuck, sick dirty fuck, give me your money before you die, and I have to dissect the mom.
Sweetheart.
Do you want me to tear? Do you want me to spread your ribs apart after you die? Give your whatever. I don't know.
This is
literally TikTok.
Let me say one more thing about these sugar babies and their ambitions. They're actually not even nice people, which is the most amazing thing. Is like you would think they would try to butter you up and be all sweet and goofy and, you know, so innocent, but no, they're actually like really mean, nasty people right from the get-go. So I just don't understand how these sugar babies are actually making it work unless it is just outright a solicitation for prostitution.
Pee premium with freedom.
You can even find prostitution solicitation. Like if you go on Craigslist, like you can go on Craigslist right now and just like type in weird things like painting, like requesting painting services, and you'll find like in the identifiers for the ad, like looking for someone to paint my house naked or something like that. Like they just straight up.
Well, there was that big lawsuit against Backpage that brought that company down, and even today there's still all kinds of things like that where they're very afraid that the government could all of a sudden, you know, bring down your porn website or accuse you of committing some type of, you know, serious crime like, you know, sex trafficking and things like that. But you remember how Pornhub had to do only registered users, like they removed all the porn and then it only became actual content creators that had access, or maybe like, you know, more standardized businesses.
Oh,
I
that's
remember
where all my
the
favorite
Purge, dude. That was so recent.
Wait, that's where all
That
my
shit helped me out so
now
much.
the page is no longer available.
Yeah, that stuff's all gone. I mean, it's all back. Their database, I'm sure, is fully replenished, but like they had to take it down because there was
Not
child
even
pornography.
close. No,
People
not
underage
even
were
close.
uploading content, things like that.
Damn.
Or they had people.
Not even close, man. There was like 12 million videos, and they did the Purge, and it went down to like 1.8.
Mhm.
And I was like, "Fuck yeah, let's go!" Because being a verified model at that time, very very nice, good time for me. And then
Are you serious right
up
now?
to like 7.8,
How much money?
a couple hundred a month on average.
Wait,
Some months
you're a male pornographer?
Yeah, baby.
Really?
Like,
Purge was so good for me. I was like actually happy about that.
did you do like prostate stuff to encourage the
No, man.
just masturbate?
No, not even. No.
You just film heterosexual sex with your girlfriend or girls in your area?
No, just it's like solo striptease shit.
That's it?
It's
You got a
easy.
couple hundred?
No, man, like my first year and a half, I had 1 million views. And then
That's
I ended
it?
up in the top 10,000 models for a while. That was fucking cringy because there were so many people contacting me to buy my underwear. I was like, nah, no, dude.
You're funny.
You know what stuff would be really. I got a
This is
point.
blowing my mind. I am like so vanilla. Like you guys are telling me things. Like you can sell your underwear.
Ashley, that chick was selling jars of her fart and she made over $100,000 selling her fart jars, or like $1 million or something.
You don't even have to wear the. Just rub an anchovy on the inside. So.
That's disgusting.
Yeah, but it would be outrageous, which is where the money really is.
I would
I'd
definitely.
be rolling the cone factory 5 times a day.
If I knew I was gonna make
Stocking up.
something, I would definitely do some fucking porn and not worry about working anymore. But I feel like I'd have to do gay shit because that, like, the majority of guys that get fucked by gay shit. Like, I definitely.
You have to be open to the fact that like men will watch your shit and like
I definitely have to.
by you. Just accept it. Just
I definitely have to put stuff
all
on
the
my
friend requests.
Oh,
create-
God.
Just say fucked up stuff, dude. I have to be like, you want this, you big bear?
No, you don't have to talk to them. You can just say thank you. Thanks for the support. Thanks.
Are you talking about like
Thank-
Chatterbait or something?
Literally just talk to them like you're signing autographs, okay?
Thanks for the support, man.
Thanks, and then you just ghost them. That's how I do it.
Thanks for the $5, Frank.
Yeah. Thanks for subbing and for coming by and for the support.
I'm not even making money. I hope you know that. Like, I think it's actually pretty dope that you're able to make money off it. I'm about to go buy some cucumbers and start making some money myself.
See, this is the stupidity of pornography, though, and actually creating porno. You might as well just clip shit and redistribute, other porn and just get into a copyright violation. I mean, what's the fucking point of creating your own porn if you still got to market porn? Just market other people's porn.
Insurance fraud too.
And you know what kind of porn you could make that would be incredible, especially with your whole career? You could make a morgue porn, right? So
That's
you just
illegal.
No. Listen, hear me out. What you do is you buy the table and you get it in your house. Right now, you back this whole thing up with that you're actually a mortician. Now you get somebody willing and able. You mark their body up with the markers that looks like it's where you're about to cut, and then the whole thing is you have them lay still the entire time, and then you just bang on the table, right? And you make them simulate a dead body.
It makes me think of Palestinian dead babies on the butcher block. Do you think they're always actually
How
real?
much money she would make from that? It would be wild how much money she would make from that.
But do I have to be like serious or kind of like? I feel like I can't laugh doing that. Like,
You'd have to like make it sound really clinical and believable.
I don't know.
Then you could just never do your career ever again.
Like for example, when you went, like, if you had a hard on, you'd be like, patient is exhibiting signs of early rigor mortis, and like then you'd like touch it. And be like,
How do I not laugh and say that?
Okay,
What
that's
in the
like
world?
zombie porn.
do you know how
I guess it might
weird
sell.
stuff?
Most dudes don't like fantasize about being a disheveled carcass that like can barely move its arms about and it's got
Bro,
ghostly eyes. But there might be
a whole
a niche
business
for
plan
that.
for you.
There might be.
Ashley the
I think
Thunder
I'm a corpse and I can get a boner still. Whoa! Like, okay, each 1,000
I mean,
bucks, 2,000
Career permanent switch right there, though.
I know that. And I used to, like when I first started doing this, I thought, and I think this is part of it, that people just have like a natural, innocent curiosity because they just don't think about it and they'll ask me questions or whatever. And then it got to where I would like go out and somebody would start talking to me and ask me what I do, and the second I told them, that came all it was about, and it was like in a way that was a little bit perverse. So that's when I was like, oh my god, there are men who definitely would get off on the fact that I have put my entire arm inside of someone's like chest cavity because I had to. It's just so weird. It's so weird.
I actually read the Stephen story once, and the premise of the story is this guy gets bit by a spider, But this guy gets bit by a spider in the Stephen King story, right, or a snake or something like that. And the poison makes it so his heartbeat slows low enough that they think he's dead. So they bring him to the morgue, and they're starting to, read that they're going to do an autopsy on him. Yeah, they're starting to the woman is attractive, and she's starting to read through what she's going to do. And this guy's thinking in his head, from his perspective, he's like, holy fuck, I can't move. She's going to start cutting me open, this and that. And then she's touching his body to examine it before she starts doing the cutting, and he pops a boner, and that's how she knows that he's alive. And then he's like, we dated a while after that, but the relationship didn't work out because I couldn't get hard unless she wore rubber gloves after that.
I love it. Needless to say,
All of Stephen King's premises are stupid. There was a Family Guy joke where he goes "What's your new book idea about?" It's about lamp.
Anyway, well, I will say now when I'm out, if someone asks me what I do, I just say I'm a nurse because nobody cares about that anymore. I don't have to go into it.
I honestly feel like I'd probably like to be a mortician. I'm not even gonna lie, because you don't have to deal with people. It's quiet. You're by yourself. Honestly, I've been at work sometimes and thought about that. That seems like it would be a pretty cool profession.
It's like being a dentist, though. It's a business. There's a guy on this app, this black guy, Christian guy. What are you talking about? There's a black Christian guy on this app that runs a mortuary, it runs a funeral parlor. It's a full-on service business where you're dealing with the emotional fucking trauma.
Okay, but I'm not a funeral director, and I don't run a a funeral business. I embalm bodies and prep them for their services. It's completely separate.
Priestess of the dead.
I get it, but you're still a functionary within that business. Like, it's a business.
Okay.
The thing is that she doesn't have to deal with anybody really. Like, for example, when I'm at work, I've been at 6 meetings today. It sucks, right? And it's timelines and it's tight and it fucking sucks. Whereas what she's saying is like, she just gets this body, I have to repair this body, and everyone leaves the fuck alone.
For the most part. Sometimes I have to talk to like the medical examiner. I have to go get someone from them. If it's a day where we're like shorthanded, sometimes I have to go pick people up like from their houses or from their nursing homes or whatever. But that's the most like live human interaction I get on a daily basis for the most part.
Can I ask you a weird question?
Of course.
I don't even want to say it now.
Yes, you do.
Have you ever brought someone in that was like young and attractive and not too damaged, and you were like, wow, this person's really attractive, and obviously you wouldn't do anything, but you're like, you can recognize that at the moment, or are you so separated from your feelings in that you're just like, I'm not even thinking about it?
No, I've noticed. There's been like a handful of people that have been like, oh my gosh, they're really handsome, they're really pretty, but most of the time it's like old people. A lot of the people that are young get into like crazy accidents or they blow their heads off, so it's really 50-50 when it comes to that.
That
That
makes
would
sense.
be for a great, like, Humans of New York kind of thing, like The Beautiful Dead.
Yeah, what? You want to hear my porn idea? I think it's a really good idea. You guys want to hear it?
Is it with dead people?
No, live people.
Okay, cool. Let's do that.
That become dead people. No,
She's not really an expert anymore.
So here's my porn idea. I think the majority of people in this world, a lot of them, right? We see a lot of people that are never married, a lot of people are lonely and single. What are they missing? They're missing human connection. Now, my porn idea is to give them more than just porn and give them simulated human connection and relationships. Now, how do you do that? Well,
Did you see the movie Her?
I did.
Okay.
Now, here's what I'm thinking, right? You get 2 people, and you pay them to live in an apartment together. 2 pornography actors that have some good chemistry, right? Now, what you do is you have them live in this apartment, almost like a reality TV show. Cameras are always on. Now, what the audience is able to do, right, is suggest with their donations when and what they do at any given time. So now what you have is you have it,
Right?
so you have it showing the entirety of the relationship. So you have them eating dinner together, watching movies together, but then like you can incentivize, right? So you can throw a donation. I'm going to donate $100. I want her to stick her hands in his pants, right? But you make it really genuine. You have people that can actually act, like, and it looks like, oh, this person be trying to turn them on while they're watching.
Oh, you're saying they do it now?
Well, you make it act a lot more natural. You let it make it so the viewer has a sense of like, this is a real relationship that I get to influence and become a puppet too.
Hey, here.
What do you think about that? And they obviously they fuck too, right? You have to,
You're basically describing a cam with like deeper, more pervasive access.
exactly.
I hear it. Like, I'm trying to combine it with the Truman Show with a porn pun, but I
Yes,
think
that's pretty much that. Yeah, but in this sense, they're both aware. They're both aware that it's a show. But you're getting, because like primarily porn actors are pretty bad at acting, right? So like what I would do to get this going is like maybe even like pay an actual couple and then give them like time throughout the day when the donations can come in. So for example, you have them like just living normally and people have access to their relationship.
It sounds like a decent competitor to OnlyFans, yeah.
Yeah, and then what happens is you have segmented times throughout the day. So we'd say like time slots between 6 and 8 p.m. Eastern. They're going to be watching a movie, open donations, right? You can like ask them what to do, and then it'd be like, put hands in pants, take off shirt, for this much money, and then like,
Yeah,
as
they have an algorithm to upload it for the best offers and the most popular.
exactly.
Right.
Oh yeah, I'm digging this because you got like this whole like voting panel and everything.
Yeah.
It's got like at least you can vote with your dollar as to what they're gonna do. But they only get the money if they actually do the thing.
But here's the delineation though, right? Is like they already have porn that kind of does that, right? And that you could donate and control what they do, like anal or vaginal, like it does that already.
My whole thing is, though, adding the extra element of the simulated relationship that you can look in on any time, right? That, like, it's almost like you have a keyhole into someone's life, so it gives that person
That's creepy.
a sense, yeah, but it gives
As
them
opposed to fucking porn?
But what it does is it gives them a sense of connection for these people that don't have relationships, that they feel like they're participating live in relationships.
I hear you. It's development experience.
Yeah, like it's almost
I
like
don't watch
you
porn,
have
so I think good at
someone's
it.
life, so it gives.
I'm just saying. This is kind of creepy.
But I do watch porn, Kyle. I think it's a pretty solid idea. I think people would fucking pay a lot of money for that.
Well,
Making it, watching it, what's the difference?
Do you think that that's an actual idea that's worth me pursuing? What I'd have to do is I'd have to go rent out an apartment. I'd have to get licensed to do the pornography, which actually is pretty cheap to do. It's like $400, $500. And then I would just have to pay them to be in the house. And I have the money to do that, right?
yeah, it's all just a question.
Well,
I think people would fucking pay a lot of
we
money.
need a system where it's being live streamed and you're collecting donation
Do
money
you think that that's an
and
actual idea that's
comparing
worth me
that
pursuing?
money
What I'd have
to
to do is
a
I'd
thing
have to go rent out an apartment.
during the stream. And your
Like a
actors need
Super
to be...
Bowl?
Yeah, see, there's already something like this called Big Brother. It's like a UK
Business bed.
softcore reality TV shit. There's a lot of UK pseudo-pornography that's like this, like dating, nudist survival, like
But the whole point
all the
of this,
contenders are naked on the island.
the whole point of this, though, is to make it. It's not about, like, the porn is ancillary, right? This is about giving people that don't have a connection to somebody, these single fucks that are at home and they don't have anybody to do this stuff with, to give them a feeling like they're not alone, right? I'm going to be straight up preying on their loneliness.
Well, but would that even, okay, like, realistically, would it be fulfilling, though, to, like, you're still not even really involved, they're just doing what you tell them to, like, what do you, like, they're not, you're giving them money and also just telling them what to do, like, how are you truly...
Attracting voyeurs. Not like POV is. If you want your lonely fuck, you just have a lady make out with the camera. Just make sure your eyes are in line with the camera itself and your mouth is below, otherwise your dude's not gonna feel like he's making out with you. But you're done. That's it. The production cost is minimal. The time is one actor.
What you guys should do?
Already netted your otakus. You got them. So you're talking about high production costs for like married men, voyeurs, cheaters, people who want to sneak or look up skirts and shit. That's what you're describing. That's what this is. That's who your market is for this type of porn.
Yeah, but here's the thing, though, right? Here's what delineates it, is that you have, so what if you do one apartment, right? You would diversify, right? So I get multiple apartments that I was running the same thing. And then you advertise different types of relationships, right? So one might be where this chick is like really dominant. You can even do ones that are like fucked up, like an abusive simulated relationship. Whatever people are into.
Don't perpetuate that.
Yeah, you're not gonna make any money with any sort of like predatory work or abuse. Like, Pornhub's gonna
No, not abuse. I'm talking fake. What I mean is, like, you know how we were just talking 2 seconds ago about the financial abuse thing and the guys pay for the woman to like consult them? You essentially have a setup where it's like the chick is like dogging on this guy constantly, like, what did I tell you about? You're not picking up the laundry, you stupid fat fuck. And like,
it has to be acted poorly, then. It has to be camp. If it's not camp, it's going to get reported and they will be more than happy to remove your work entirely. So you're talking about good actors acting badly on purpose to make it less real for the voyeurs. They don't need it to be real. The voyeurs, their cameras up near the ceiling or through a window or through the so-called the keyhole in the door when you're, squinting through it. That's your voyeur audience. If your camera isn't point of view, then you're probably appealing to a cheater or someone who doesn't need the acting to be good. They don't want to see abusive situations either.
Well, no,
unless she's like strapped up and like begging for it.
Well, no. What I'm saying is, I'm giving an example that like there could be different types of soap opera style stories that are going on that like I would tell like, okay, you two, you're gonna have this loving relationship. You guys start like you have a whole backstory.
Yeah,
You
then you're competing with Wincest. Then you can't. Wincest is gonna beat you every time. So unless it's brother, sister, mom, son,
it could be that too.
maybe auntie, stepmom. Stepmom is gonna win for sure. I'm just talking about making money now. I'm talking about your competitors in the same field.
You guys have made me realize how boring I am.
I'm steeped in porn knowledge, dude.
What if instead you make like a really beautiful documentary? A really beautiful documentary about the psychology of porn, and then just go win like a shit ton of awards and get paid a shit ton of money.
Because that's harder or requires skill, Ashley.
What?
Yeah, like a doctorate. You have to like study and read books. Are you kidding me?
Put stuff on the end.
That's
I do think that there's some money there for what I'm describing. I really do.
There is.
Probably.
There is. You just have to kind of angle it right and be careful a little bit.
Maybe I should fucking do it. Like, for real. I hate that fucking
Well, Roland,
In your case,
Roland,
high production.
Kyle, hold on a second. Roland, I had a website.
Time.
Kyle, hold
You're
on.
gonna get tired.
I had a website called bikini.yoga, and I paid this beautiful blonde to come to my apartment and do a 2-hour yoga show in like multiple bikinis. And so I put that on YouTube, and that did go viral, and eventually it got deleted. Like YouTube deleted the YouTube account, but I was charging $420 to connect men with beautiful yoga bikini fitness models to do 1-hour yoga classes. And I actually had men paying.
Pimp.
Yeah. Yeah. I'd like to get back into that. I'd like to get back into that because it's not sexual. And in fact, the amazing thing is yoga is so healthy for you that like if you have some fat perverted piece of shit who pays some hot blonde $400 to get in a bikini and like the whole thing is to do yoga.
Sexual, though.
Well, my point is the irony
same question.
the irony is that fat piece of shit, that fat piece of shit pervert gets the enlightenment they're actually looking for by the girl in the bikini yoga because they realize while they're doing the yoga how out of shape they are and how pathetic they are that they just paid $400. So it's like a come to Jesus moment, and it was an interesting thing to help people connect with because it is like sexual desire versus the fact that you're going to die and you're a fat piece of shit and you've been acting like a disgusting fat piece of shit for years and you can't even do the yoga that you just paid for with this hot blonde bikini girl. It's just such a crazy thing to create for people to put together that simulation. That's I say roll and go with it, but truth be told, bikini yoga kind of satisfies everything because you can publish your bikini yoga videos to YouTube and monetize it. There's many, many women in bikinis flashing their pussy lumps, flashing their titties, popping that ass on YouTube, making a lot of money doing yoga bikini videos, and that's a fact.
I just feel like what it is though, that there are these videos, like I've seen a lot of videos where like, I know people who've seen a lot of videos, where essentially they're paying somebody to do a thing. They'll be like, stick it in her ass or spit on her ear or whatever, I don't know. And you like pay, you're like, oh, 3 shekels for this, and then she gets ripped in a butthole. But like what you do instead is you'd have it start out like 6 o'clock to 8 o'clock movie night, and then let's say maybe you even allow them to watch the movie with them, right? Like you pay the license rates for someone, and then like as you watch the movie, it's like, oh, I want her to do this, like him to do this, whatever, and you diversify. Just get 2 gay dudes to do the same thing. Get a situation, stepmom and mom, dad died, stepmom and son, dad died, whatever, right? And you just do these simulated relationships that have these extra elements of like humanism that you then, because normally it's like these pay things, they just start with the sex. But if you start with the activity and lead into the sex, it makes people, I would feel like they're actually engaging in getting to the act of sex.
Just a different crowd. In media res is like an enormous percentage of all porn seekers. They just want to see the action happening immediately. And there are others that need to be wooed and built up on.
only on OnlyFans, they keep pushing content to you, and you can tell that it's content that's many years old. So a lot of these girls who film porn when they were 18, 19, 20, 21, in their 20s and 30s, they will continue to shoot porn, but they will keep pushing all their content on you on these video on demand platforms. And that's something I noticed on OnlyFans where I was like, God damn, I was like, this is pretty brilliant.
Your work. If you're not rotating your work to make more money from it, then you're a fool.
Yeah, it is variable. I mean, people want the only way to increase the dopamine feedback loop and to actually get people to purchase is to up the ante each time. And basically, just keep sending great porn through the push.
You don't know when your target audience member is going to show up on your page. Just give them everything you've ever made at all times. And then...
No, that's not true.
Have your repeat watchers who have this one image of you that they love the most, and they will just use it for months on end.
I'm just going to accelerate.
You need to deliver that product to them as soon as possible.
I'm just going to accelerate the fuck out of this shit, though. And there's going to be like one apart stories playing out.
What you're talking about is crazy, okay? It's an extremely expensive, very... You need actors who are going to be exhausted, and they are going to charge a fortune. And you need all sorts of payment pipelines for your chat to like be involved physically. Go ahead, I guess, but you're looking at a nightmare ahead of you. Like, this isn't easy to make.
Bro, and we could accelerate this shit too for people that are like have one storyline where like he accidentally kills her and then like dragging the body out and carcass, and you like the whole process of like burying it. Yeah, you bury a dummy.
Just make a soap opera at that point. The people aren't even gonna want to see sex at all. They're just gonna want to see their favorite characters.
I don't know that, dude. I've watched movies before, and I've been thinking like, this chick's really sexy. I'd actually love to watch them actually fuck instead of this weird fake kissing.
Then get an AI to like remake that movie. Like re-render me some sex scenes ear and ear. That's coming soon.
I think Ashley would watch it together.
Here's the stuff you can't get AI to do for you. The VR porn.
What would I watch?
Point of view shit.
I think you'd be in on this, Ashley, with me. And I think that you'd be
absolutely
the one
not.
where the body gets dragged outside. I think that one would
No.
drive on.
No.
What the fuck?
I would never. I have children that I never want to see them just see me do anything like that. So the internet's forever.
I'm just saying that you would be a subscriber.
Oh, no. I don't think I would. I wouldn't give anyone money to watch them. Well, I don't want to say never, but I just don't think the idea of watching other people have sex to me is just kind of like
cringe.
It's just boring.
It's boring and cringe. It's true.
I'm one of those girls that if you give me a really good idea of what is gonna happen and then you don't show me what happens, sold. That is who I am. Yeah.
So then, all right. So then, one of the tell them what you want to see them do, and then the video comes out before they do it.
But it's gonna be exactly what I thought it was gonna be because I didn't see anything else. The suggested activity is really all I need.
Am I the only person who watches movies like Davis Race? And I'm like, they're gonna do another stupid sex scene. Like I always feel.
Oh my god, yes. Like I was super into what was that show during the second pandemic? Outlander. I got super into that. I was like, oh my gosh, there's like 10 million seasons of this already. I'll watch it, and it was great. But the sex scenes were so fucking annoying because they went on forever. It's like I get it. I've seen this girl's boobs like 15 times now. It doesn't really.
Just flash it up on the screen. Just put like insert boobs here, and just let me fast forward.
It's filler, dude. It's padding the time out. It's some production gimmick, and the actors have a little fun.
I feel like we're conditioned to think that it's like supposed to be there. It's like, this is so freaking weird. It's like when you're vegetarian for a while, and then you one day notice, like when I was vegetarian, at first I still ate chicken. I was like, I got rid of red meat.
And after a while, it's just like, what is this dead chicken doing in my chicken Caesar salad? Like after, I'm like, this is so freaking, like, and I feel the same way.
I'm also like a one person. Like I'm not like I've never like dated multiple people. I've never like messed around. So maybe it's just the type of person. I don't know.
But dead people don't count, Ashley.
Well, that doesn't count.
Yeah, I used to be a real hoe, Ashley, so, I just feel like this might apply to me. See, I would never pay for this stuff because I had, like, a healthy relationship, and not to sound cocky, but, like, I always had an easier time getting women than even, like, making friends. Like, it always just seemed kind of, like, intuitive. And also, it's, like, lower stakes.
I don't have any friends.
I mean,
yeah, dude, like, I always had a hard time making friends, like, getting a chick to go home with me or, like, keep hanging out with me was always kind of easy, but it was, like, getting a dude to be friends, I never really knew how to do that. Yeah, but hey, man, want to hang out sometime and play video games at my place?
Her to take you home with her and then buy her a pizza in the morning when you leave.
But chicks are always kind of just like, you just fuck up. How's it going? Want to go get a coffee sometime? What are you up to tonight? Whatever. It's just like easy. But
my friends are my friends' dads.
Yeah,
Yes, I have no friend. Well, I have like two friends that are under the age of 50, but they're all older. But they're both older than me. All of my friends are 50 and 60 years old. I'm not kidding.
Yeah, my friend. We actually just went to the school. And I'm calling him my friend now, even as I'm saying it, right? So we're at the school today, checking out the school, and they're like, "Oh yeah, Joseph's dad, whatever." And it's like, "Oh, it's so great they'll be friends." And I'm here sitting thinking, nah, it's cool that my friend is going to go to school with my son. And this is my bud, man. It's like, oh, screw the kids. It's hilarious. When you get to be a certain age, it's like, hey, my 45-year-old friend next door, who's the dad of my son's friend, that's just my world.
Yeah, I've always been around I grew up around my grandparents though, and I just didn't really find kids my age interesting. They're all just being fucking blowing shit up, being stupid, and I'm just like, everybody in my family used to call me Matilda because I looked like Matilda when I was a kid, and would just read. I was a fucking dork, and so I just didn't really invest a lot of time in that as a kid. I don't know, but I loved old people. They had the best stories. They had seen so many things that weren't real anymore. I knew my great grandma my whole life until she was 105. She died when I was 20. She was like a fucking unicorn to me. She was born into a shack that had a dirt floor, and when she died, there were flat screen TV. She saw everything that we use come into existence, and it just blew my mind.
Does she have an OnlyFans account?
I don't.
I definitely wish I asked my grandfather more questions, because he died when I was probably 11, and he was 95, and I'm like, oh, if only I had been older and more interested, I would have asked him so many goddamn questions.
Yeah, I spent a lot of time doing that with my grandpa, and he he was a veteran, and he felt guilty about it because he really fucking hated being in the military and stuff like that. He told me all his stories, and he got it as fast as he could, and now he really doesn't tell anyone he was in the military because he just stuff like that. People don't really deal with that anymore because he didn't have a choice. He had to do it.
I'll look up the name of the book, but there's this book my friend recommended that basically goes through the different ways that people dealt with PTSD and war throughout time, going back to whatnot, looking at historical evidence and how society perceived them, and why people back then didn't have as much PTSD and so forth. And it some of the stuff I read on it was pretty damn interesting. I gotta find the name of the book. I think it mainly had to do with the way that the society accepted the soldiers when they went home, and also allowed for reward, right, of taking spoil from war, and then also getting seen as heroes by the society when they returned, and also differing views on killing as far as morality is.
And they didn't have a choice. That's the biggest thing for me is they didn't have it. They had to do it unless they were considered too dumb, or their eyes were too bad, or they had severe health issues, or they were in charge of their sibling, or their parents had died. Those are the four things that would keep you out of going to the military. And if you ran, you got like in trouble. Like you had to do it.
Listen, pre-internet, everything is totally different because now we do something to create an Instagram reel, to create that 10-second soundbite. And that's true with all these senators, Congress people, even Tulsi Gabbard, this incredible potential vice president or presidential candidate one day. My point is, all these Instagram influencers, like if you were in 1920 and you came back from World War II and you went to a parade because you fought in overseas and and you're part of it, like that was the internet back then, meaning that the whole
Yes.
community came out and experienced it all at once, and that was the information transmission. Now it's all basically independent information transmission, and plus you got to pay ads just to get people to even see your shit. But we all know that these social media companies pick and choose the winners, and it's always a left-leaning agenda. And I don't know, it's just very frustrating to see, leadership essentially wag the tail before the dog, or create the content or do the thing just for the content, as opposed to being patriotic or being a leader or even being pragmatic and having common sense. It's like it's basically all a propaganda, and all communication is hypnosis.
Well, I don't know a lot about that, but I would say, if you're speaking of like human experience and how you get information and things like that, like I think, and I tell people all the time, I think I got like the last great childhood because I lived in a small town. I was never bored. I had free reign. I rode my bike everywhere. I did all of those things I'd never let my kids do today. But when I go home, my hometown is like an hour and a half away from where I live now, and I've moved as far out of the city as I possibly can without being in a rural area. So I get to choose still, like what I'm inundated with. Like I don't have to deal with that. But when I go home, it is exactly the same. Like they have tried to maintain slow life like so hard, and they are doing it, and I get a little emotional talking about it because it's like a living time capsule, and it's so cool, and I feel super lucky that I get to experience stuff like that. And I wish like everybody could do that. I wish everybody could go to my hometown and go have like malt at the soda shop that's been there since like 1950, and just like go to the drive-in in your car and like just not worry about who's gonna abduct your kid or someone's gonna roofie your drink, and like you just forget about all that stuff. It's amazing. It's amazing. And you can all come if you want, but I'm just saying, places like that still exist.
What I'm trying to say, Ashley, is that content creation on Instagram is directly correlated with lower IQ.
Okay, well, we were talking about something else, and I don't really know where you came in with that. But I get that.
I just wanted to comment, Ashley. My hometown isn't very far from where I live. It's still like a city, right?
Well,
a small city in between a lot of big cities, and it still has this small town feel. And I was there, I go in a couple of times a week to do some tasks for my mom. And I was there the other day, and I was driving at about 5 o'clock on a Sunday down the downtown main road, and everything was closed.
mm-hmm.
And for blocks there wasn't one person.
Yep.
Right, because they would have been down walking on like a sidewalk, and there's no way, like, I mean, during COVID there were times where I could be in Vancouver downtown and not see anybody, but there isn't like any place in downtown Vancouver where you could walk at any time of the night and not see people, because there's lots of people like working shifts and stuff, right? And it was weird. It feels like a ghost town, but it's kind of sweet. I quite like it. And all I would say though is, at least here, I don't necessarily feel safer in a place like that, because when I was growing up, we had a notorious Canadian serial killer who kidnapped children and killed them. So
kind of sounds like your current Prime Minister, Trudeau.
This happens in. I'm sorry, I was speaking.
Were you? Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt you, Victoria. Don't get a mood swing on me.
Wow.
don't get a mood swing on me. Kick me out. Don't get